Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Tony Dudzik, Pick Guardian.
Rob Chafe, Magical Amplification.
Oh, Mr. Chuckles, Rob Chafe is here again.
Chafe.
Hey, everybody, it's me, Todd Novak. Welcome to the Guitar Knobs podcast. We're thrilled to death that you are listening to our show. Yes, this is going to be number 407, I believe.
407.
Yes, 407. Gadzooks.
They seem to be going faster since we broke 400.
I guess so, yes.
Wow.
Maybe not for other people.
How you guys ever
Yes.
broke 50, I'll never know.
It's a mystery to me,
Hey.
too. So the good thing is, it's not just us. We've got some great guests this week. Guess who are you?
My name is Patrick Flores. I work at Eventide. I do artist relations, a little bit of like sound design and product management.
And I'm Jacob Garrig. I am a signal processing engineer at Eventide. So I'm doing the DSP development and sound design and all that good stuff.
Nice.
Ooh, yes. So you're the Oz. You are Oz.
You're
aren't
Mr.
you?
Zeros and Ones, baby.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Zeros and one, Iana, two, Iana.
Thank you, Bubby and
Yeah.
a sissy.
All right. Hey, we've got some. So, where can people go to get to Eventide? Because we're specifically talking about the knife drop, and I hopefully everybody's already heard of this. But if you haven't and you want to follow along, where can people go to check this out, guys?
So the knife drop is the pedal we did with Third Man in collaboration with Third Man. So you can either go to our website or our socials at Eventide Audio, eventideaudio.com, or go to Third Man's website.
Excellent. Good place to start there. All right, and also Tony is going to determine what episode Eventide was on.
I will do that for
previously.
you, Todd, because that's the kind of guy.
That's job number 2.
Job number 2.
All right.
He's the best.
So we are just going to cover a couple of quick announcements really quick. Gentlemen, if you wouldn't mind bearing with us for a second, we got a lovely gift from LSJ Music Company, Tony.
Really?
We did.
What is it?
Well, there's a little something. Rob, you can go get a coffee or something.
Okay, I'll be back.
There's a there's a little something for me and a little something for you.
No, thank you. What is it? It is. It's the 1979 Seaway Polka Fest souvenir album. 11 great polka orchestras.
Yes, Tony's
Oh, my.
Polish. So that's not like it's not a joke. He really is Polish. Which
You got a problem with that?
no,
Okay.
no.
Don't make me jump across that
Yeah.
table. Oh, this is cool.
So that was really cool that he sent that,
Uh-huh. What did you
and he
get?
sent me an album called. These are both vinyl albums. It says it's called Clockwork Orange County, where I hail
there
from.
you go.
Orange County, California. It's the electrifying cry of today's suburban youth, out on Mystic Records. And I was excited because the lead track is from DI, which I really used to dig back in the
Is that
day.
D period, I
And
period?
my friend was actually in Doggy Style, the
Ah.
band.
The band.
Yeah, that's really cool. And it's a colored, I think it's orange vinyl, which is really neat. Anyways, Lucas, thank you so much. That's super cool that you sent that. Just for us to have fun with. This is really cool. We really appreciate that. It was very kind of you. So,
In case you were wondering, Todd.
yes.
The first Eventide podcast we
Yes.
did was number 297.
297. Boy,
Well over 100 before today.
yes, you were trying to do the math in your head and you stopped.
I got
Yeah.
a monkey wrench in there.
Anyway, so yeah. Super fun to get that in the mail. Big shout out to Lucas.
Thank you. That's
he's
so
also
cool.
A supporter of ours on Patreon, so much obliged. Okay, let's get into what's going on in our music worlds this week. We got quite a few people here, so this is really good. Tony, you can go ahead and lead us off, and then we're going to check in with Patrick and Jacob.
That sounds like a plan. Well thought out, Todd. Congratulations.
That's what I do.
So last time we got together, I think I mentioned that I found some Bigsby-style cast aluminum pickups from a guy up in Canada. And those are on their way. So I started discussing, the project itself with my buddy Pat at Coop Guitars. And I think what we're going to end up with is kind of a Telecaster Cabronita style body with these Bigsby pickups, a Bigsby tremolo.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea.
And he's going to help me work out a neck that has a Bigsby style headstock.
Yeah.
Which is, some people compare it to a 70s large headstock Strat.
Yeah.
And it's actually bigger than that.
It's bigger.
And it's got a very bulbous.
The ball on it is
It's
ginormous.
bulbous.
Yes.
So,
It's very exaggerated.
So we're going to try a couple of things. One is just kind of a
Put an Explorer headstock on it, dude.
I am not putting an Explorer headstock on it.
Why not?
Because
Bad
that's
Todd.
just gross.
Bad Todd.
But no, I saw Patrick smiling right there over the airwaves.
Did you now?
Yeah, he was with me. He's with me on that.
No, so we're gonna try
Honestly,
something
yeah.
first before going to the time and expense of making a neck like that. Is we're going to get a paddle headstock, unfinished neck, and add a piece of wood to it so as to make the headstock larger,
Bigger.
Yes, so the blank will be larger, so we can actually carve one of these into it.
Just get a P bass neck and cut off the last couple of frets.
Are you done?
Sorry.
Okay, I thought so.
It's a good thing you don't make guitars.
Yeah, playable guitars.
Yes, you and so many.
So in the lead up to all this, I decided it would be a good idea to pull out the story of Paul Bigsby, father of the modern electric solid body guitar, by our good friend Andy Babiak.
Also, not as well known to, well, at least to most of the people in the guitar community, maybe there, but one of the first custom modified parts for motorcycles.
Yes, he was sponsored by Crocker Motorcycles.
Yeah.
For those of you who know what a Crocker is. Anyhow, he was a motorcycle racer. He designed, first he started building guitars, and then he came up with the Bigsby vibrato system. Designed it, hand casted these things. I mean, this was a true cottage industry.
I think it's just cast. Cast is singular. No, not singular and plural, but cast is present and past tense.
Hand casted?
Cast.
Hand cast.
Hand cast.
Thank you.
Like sheep. Sheep.
Sheep
It's a sheep
cast?
or many sheep.
Like a sheep cast?
But different. Keep going.
This is
Anyhow.
such a bizarre episode.
Anyhow. All of that stuff, and it was a true cottage industry because for many years he literally worked out of his garage hand casting these vibratos. And even his daughter, who was very young at the time, helped him sand and polish and all these things. So there's an interesting thing in the story. But the one thing that, as I was reading through it again, that I forgot about, and I thought it would be fun to just mention, is everyone tends to credit Leo Fender with coming up with modifying Clues-on tuners for a 6-in-line. Because in the 1940s and early 50s, 6-in-line Clues-ons did not exist. But in
Tony,
fact,
that's common knowledge, man.
I know it is for you. Such a deep thinker as yourself. However, it turns out that it was actually Paul Bigsby that came up with the idea to clip the little wings off the ends and made just one screw in between the tuners.
Yes.
And made them fit into a 6-in-line.
That's very interesting, actually.
So Leo Fender can thank Paul Bigsby for that.
Yes.
And on today's Bigsby episode,
Yes. That's very cool. Excellent.
So anyhow, that's what I was.
See, we learned a little something there, Tony.
I always try to enlighten people.
I like that. All right. You know what? Let's go with the noob, Jacob. What's going on in your music world this week besides building pedals and stuff?
It's a good question. I mean, it's not been specifically guitar related, but I have been kind of setting up a lot of rack gear for recording guitars. But, since we get, so many guitar toys through our lovely company, sometimes the focus gets shifted to other audio gear outside of it. So I'm getting set up with some 500 series gear. Been playing around with some stuff from Cranbourne Audio, their 500 series Camden preamp and their Carnaby harmonic EQ. Both of those just sound absolutely killer. But if we're going to go more guitar specific, I have been just been diving around looking at some compressors that I would like to build. Been doing a lot of DIY pedal stuff recently. Because it's fun to solder. It's cool to build it yourself. And you save a little bit of money.
That's cool. I like
so
that.
I had built a Keeley compressor clone, but it's just not doing it quite the way I want it to. So I'm looking around at some other things and might thinking about building like a Ross, style compressor, like an MXR Dynacomp clone, and see what that gets me.
That is nice and fun and cool and simple. I bet you need a little break after like doing something like the knife drop.
I mean, it's kind of fun because it's, they're very different things, because if we're, the stuff at work, it's all digital. So it's, all stuff on the computer, it's coding and, playing around with, I don't know if you guys are familiar with VSig, but that's, it's a tool that we give out to H9000 users as well. And it's what we use for, our algorithm development here in house. So then doing everything analog, for my own DIY stuff is nice because it's just, just putting components through a PCB, soldering them in, and trying not to burn myself.
Fun thing to do, for sure.
That sounds like therapeutic almost. I kind of want to learn to do it just because it sounds relaxing.
It actually really is, unless you make a mistake, because then you have solidified metal that is very hard to undo.
Yes.
So you just got to be careful not to make a mistake.
It's super.
It's kind of fun because
it's like Zen.
When I was a kid, I was very into Legos, and I just kind of feel like this kind of evolved from that in some way.
Yeah. I can see that.
Now, what you need if you do make a blob is, do you have a solder sucker?
I need to get one of those. Soldering braid is just not doing it.
No, the braid doesn't work, but there's like a spring-loaded thing.
Yeah, I got one of those.
You got one of those?
Yeah.
Yeah, you make
it does
blobs.
Work. Sometimes you need the braid though. It's not the best, but it'll get some stuff done. You need both things. But yes,
preach.
I agree. Working on a little pedal at home is one of those great things where you can start late at night and then you're like, oh my gosh, it's 2 a.m. What happened? And that's kind of nice actually, just to kind of like just be absorbed in something.
But you're not even
That's
tired.
exactly what happened to me.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nice.
Now, what kind of music are you into yourself?
A little bit of everything. I played drums and like a shoegaze emo kind of bands. Used to be really into metal when I was younger, but kind of grew out of it a little bit. Love some good bossa nova when I'm cooking. Good old Joao Gilberto. Some more like psychedelic stuff and a lot of post rock too, or post punk, I should say.
Yeah.
Parquet Courts, Cola, Black Midi, Shame.
Nice. Yes. Well-rounded gentleman.
Are you just like yelling at words?
Just random words.
Just random words.
Slotted spoon.
Me and Tony were going,
Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Feather eye.
You were talking about compression, and then you actually said drums, and I saw something today that actually made me chuckle pretty hard because I got sucked into it. Because I get a lot of drum stuff because I work pretty close with my drummer in our band, and it said it was a snare. It was a snare compression test, and I was like, okay, that's cool. So it's first one. It says snare. It's like snare without compression, and it's like dang, 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 dang. It says with compression, and then the next frame, he reaches over and he turns on an air compressor, and goes, and he's like, dang, dang.
Oh, I saw that too.
Like, oh man, you got me.
He's not wrong.
It was really funny. You'll have to excuse me. I still have remnants from the Namthrax that I caught really bad.
Oh,
So-
jeez, man. Yeah, I got lucky. I didn't get the Namthrax this year, dude. But we were stationed in the Nam basement. Like we just had like a little private meeting room there, so it wasn't a ton of traffic. It was just a little bit of people.
You were actually there?
Yeah,
Well, no, I mean,
I didn't realize you were going to be.
Well, we were looking, and then it said by appointment only, and I was like, oh, it must be just like one of those little closet things where,
That's what they just said. They had a private.
yeah.
Yeah. We
Booth
just had a
set
little
up.
private room where we were just bringing like dealers in, and then like artists to show some stuff. Like, yeah, it was.
So if you
It was kind of chill. It was a nice.
We should have come by and said hi.
Yeah. Done a secret
Totally,
knock.
yeah.
They'd have been like, no, who are you guys?
Get him out of here.
Maybe that's what I was
Wait,
afraid of.
security.
God, dang.
Dude, those Nam doors are so funny. Like, maybe Nam was, I don't know. Is Nam going to sue us for this? It's so funny. Like, they give you a code to lock those doors, but you can easily just push the door and it opens. Like, the lock doesn't work.
Well, that's
none of
great
those
to
doors
know.
in the basement of Nam was, it just literally, like, if you tried to pull and open it, like, yeah, the lock it won't pull and open, but if you push the door, the quality's so low that it just pops open.
All right.
And we're like, that's hilarious, dude.
Anaheim
Of
Convention
course.
Center.
Yes. Well, something for us
Sponsor
to
us.
keep in mind next year. Let's see.
I heard some booths like did actually get robbed. Like there was one booth that
Yeah.
all their guitars, like that, I forget the name of the company, but all their guitars at NAMM got
What?
All of
stolen.
them?
Yeah,
I know that
all of the
Sully-
guitars they sent in.
Sully had a sweet
Yep,
custom.
like a
guitar.
one of a kind V.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Yeah,
Stolen before the show even started.
How does that happen?
I don't know,
Like,
but
aren't they supposed to have, like,
somebody's
security
gonna
and-
get sued
Yeah.
for that?
Come on.
Anyhow.
yeah.
Patrick, how about yourself?
Honestly, some cool stuff. I got a new Reverend guitar. I got this signature by Ryan from, I forget the name of the band, but his guitar is really sick. Hot Mulligan. So it's basically their Jetstream shape, like the kind of jazz style shape, but like more angular, which is like my favorite shape, with 3 P90 pickups, Wilkinson tremolo, and a reverse headstock. And I was just like, that's cool. Like, and it's a gold sparkle finish with a gold pick guard. And it was sick.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right here. I mean, Gold Sparkle. You had me at Gold Sparkle when you said Gold Sparkle.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I had you at gold sparkle. It looks good. It sounds really good. That second knob you can pull up, and it always activates the neck pickup, so you can have like all 3 pickups at the same time, or bridge and
Ooh.
neck, and it's pretty sweet, man.
That's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Rob,
Yeah, Todd.
what's going on in here? Do I have to really tee this up?
Oh yeah. Okay. Last week went to Chicago to go see Jason Isbell
Oh,
do a very rare solo acoustic performance.
okay.
So that was something. He actually, in the 8 years I've been following him, he's only done maybe a handful of acoustic performances. So
Yeah,
he's doing a little tour.
He's on this month's on the cover of this month's Vintage Guitar magazine.
Is he now?
Yeah,
How about that?
yeah.
Well, that's convenient because he is a guitar player. So
Well, you can-
otherwise, that probably.
I'll let you borrow mine.
Okay. Yeah, that works.
This is great.
So, but yeah, no, it was an amazing performance. I mean, just him on stage for 90 minutes straight and telling stories and playing acoustic guitar, and
That's nice.
yeah, it's something I would definitely probably remember forever unless I
Wow.
get like a stroke.
How big of a
Okay.
hall was it?
It was the auditorium in Chicago, probably 3,000, maybe 3,500.
That's not very intimate.
No, it was. Yeah, it's a good size hall, but it's
Unless you like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
it's a great like old town kind of theater setup.
Yeah.
and it's set up in such a way that the whole floor is sloping.
Yeah.
It has 2 mezzanines and then the boxes on the side.
Yeah, proper.
So yeah. Anywhere you
Proper
sit,
turn of the
you
century
actually have
theater.
and the acoustics in the room are fantastic. You know, it's actually designed for all this.
Yes.
So even though it's that big, it really wasn't that deep. Even the worst seats, you could still see clear line of sight. And,
That's nice.
and we were only like we were on the floor maybe 15 rows back, so we were pretty darn close.
Spitting distance.
Yeah, almost. So anyways,
That's cool.
Yep.
All right. I don't know anything about Jason Isbell.
I know, and you seem to not like him for some reason. I don't know. Every
why?
time I bring him up,
No,
he
that's,
makes
that's
a
Dave
face.
Grohl. That's
Hey,
Dave
I
Oh,
Grohl.
I'm sorry, Dave. It's both of them.
No, I've never said anything like that. You bozos.
But anytime I mention Jason Isbell, you're like, yeah.
No, what?
Yeah.
You've never mentioned it. That's why
Yes,
I was like,
I have.
Really?
Oh, go through past episodes, Todd. Yes, I have. Yes,
probably
I have.
Do you not like Dave Grohl?
Oh, let's
I-
not. No. We don't have
Poke
time
the
for
bear.
that. We don't have
No,
time for
I
that.
like Dave Grohl.
He also
I'm-
doesn't like dogs, so
You don't?
it's not that
That's
I don't
crazy.
like dogs. You're getting all of this wrong.
I don't think we are.
You are.
I feel like if you have to preface it with "It's not that I don't like dogs,"
Exactly.
I already don't care.
Exactly.
It's like
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's all you need to know.
I don't want to take care of them. I don't want them in my. I've had them. We had boxers.
I
a
don't
whole
want
bunch of
them in
boxers
my,
and stuff.
space
done with
or
it.
vicinity.
I'm done with that.
Personal
Yeah.
space.
I'm done.
Yeah.
How can you say I'm done? Oh, okay.
Anyways,
We should move on
what
now.
are you doing? Dragging up all this
Dog
drudgery?
hater.
So Todd, what's new in your music world?
Well, I
Did you go
spent
see Dave Grohl?
the weekend at a
With your
pet
dog?
shelter? Actually,
At a
oh,
pet
that
shelter?
quieted the room real quick now, didn't it?
What type of pets?
No, I'm just kidding. What I did do though, I spent the week trying to acquire pedals for our next 4 on the Floor episode.
Don't give too much away.
I'm not going to give too much away, but I will say it is. We're doing our first toe dip into the world of overdrive.
That kind of gives
Time
it
gives
away.
it away.
No,
Todd.
it doesn't.
I mean,
Are you
what
kidding me? That's the widest sector of the whole thing,
Yeah.
man. So that could be anything. Anyway, so yes, I've been spending time doing that. Begging, borrowing, stealing, not stealing, begging,
Yeah.
borrowing, and paying.
Yeah.
Ugh. Anyways,
You weren't able to source all of them without.
no, it never happens like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I just sold that one. You should have let me know.
That's exactly what happened.
Okay.
Anyhow, so that's what I had going on. So I've been busy with that, and it's also super fun too. So because I love hanging out on Reverb and Craigslist and trying to find good deals. And
That is
seeing-
your part-time job.
It is. Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Anyways, yes.
I was just saying, marketplace is like for used pedals has been pretty rad because people are just willing to let go of like some pretty nice stuff there.
Oh,
Really?
Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's New Jersey Marketplace.
By marketplace would mean the van. Anyways, all right. Well, and you know what? As I'm putting this board together, the good thing is I have a big pile of Tour Gear Designs patch cables.
Oh, I've heard of them.
Yes, and it works out beautifully every time. I'm excited to put those together. So if you have probably already heard us talk about these, how convenient they are, how affordable they are, and how durable they are, and small, tiny, teeny, tiny.
And flat.
Yeah, like if you check out the knife drop, ladies and gentlemen, and you look at the image that has the back side of it with in one or out one and out two and the expression pedal, the actual diameter of the patch cable is that.
Wow.
No bigger. So you can,
But what if you had to go, say, like from this knife drop pedal into one that had jacks on the side?
they have a solution for that. It's an S-shaped one. So
Oh.
yes, if you go to tourgeardesigns.com, you load up your cart, and then you're going to put the guitar knobs,
All lowercase.
all
one word.
lowercase, in your coupon. You're going to save 15%, everybody.
15%.
Highly recommend going and doing that. Thank you so much to Tour Gear Designs for sponsoring our 4 on the Floor.
Let me get a little bit of this.
1, 2, 3. 4 on the floor. All right. Let's hear from the guys at Eventide here. Starting off with Jacob. Go ahead. What's your 4 on the floor?
First off, we got the Universal Audio Dream 65 pedal. Just like a really great sounding amp sim. It's just nice to just kind of set it, forget it. I pretty much, once I got the knobs dialed in, I haven't touched it in months. It's just always on, always running. Don't got to be playing around with amp sims in my DAW all the time, because it kind of helps you avoid over the top tone chasing. It's like I got the amp sound I want, and now I can pretty much just let it be.
Mm-hmm.
We
do you
test
run
a
your
lot of our
stuff directly into digital, or so you bypass amps altogether?
Yeah, I live in an apartment in Brooklyn, so I can't be too loud.
Got it.
So we're just going straight into the pedal and then straight into my DAW.
Got it. So the
I would
DAW
like to use
is
a real
in
amp.
the DAW is in the kitchen, and the pedal is in the bathroom, which is also in the kitchen, right?
Something like that.
I
just have one very,
small
very
apartments,
cramped bedroom. You literally have to enter my bedroom door completely sideways because all my stuff just takes up too much space. But it happens.
Yeah.
So I love this thing. Once you really start pushing it and getting it into some saturation, you can get some really nice crunch tones out of it. Just overall, it's just great. We use I think what's it, the Fender Deluxe Reverb that we have in the office, Pat?
Yeah, we got a pair of the Tone Master Deluxes, and then we got a couple hot rods.
And it sounds, pretty close to the Tone Masters.
Excellent.
So yeah, it's just great. Love the JHS 3 Series fuzz. Mostly because it's got the bias control on it. That was kind of the main reason why I picked it up. It's not something you tend to see on a lot of fuzzes. And just gives you so much more customization possibility with it, because you can really drive it into some really spitty tones. Mm-hmm. It's got this switch. I think it just says fat on it. Is that what it says? Yeah, just the fat switch, and it does exactly what it says. I think it's just a bass boost before one of the gain stages, so it's really kind of saturating it with a lot of low ends, which really changes the character of your fuzz tone versus a low boost at the final output. It's just a really great sounding fuzz overall. Can do chords well, can do leads, and like I said, that bias thing just really drives it into lots of different territories.
Yeah. That's
And
also
then
crazy.
the next-
It's super affordable too.
Yeah, I think it was
used is like
$100
$45.
right? Damn, that's good.
Yeah.
I think I got it on a Black Friday sale or something for 70 or 80. And it does the thing, and it does it well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Just really quick, if you don't mind pausing, I know you. What kind of guitar do you play these through?
So I got two. I have a Fender Roadhouse Strat, and then Reverend Billy Corgan Signature.
Oh, okay. Good spread. Good spread. How about number 3?
Number 3 and 4 is a combination pair, sort of.
Oh.
It is a Keeley Katana and then a TC Electronic integrated preamp, which has so far been, they're great by themselves, first of all, especially the TC Electronic integrated pre, because it's, very pure, clean boost. And then you have, a high shelf, low shelf control on it. So you really get to do a lot of kind of tone sculpting before your amp. Really also kind of helps you dial in some distortion tones. The Keeley Katana, it's not, I know they call it a clean boost, but it's really not. It very quickly starts to saturate and get a kind of gritty distortion sound to it. But when you combine the two, the Katana before the TC Electronic integrated pre, it has become my absolute favorite overdrive sound. And it's actually, I've been recording some stuff, and that's just what I'm using for my overdrive setup now.
Wow.
It just gets this very, very crunchy tone. It's, not, it's definitely not like not a lead tone. It's not like, singing and screeching, but it's just very crunched, very kind of I don't know, kind of like a My Bloody Valentine type,
Oh yeah, okay.
type fuzz sound almost maybe.
Yeah.
But it's just something I haven't been able to recreate just with like any standalone overdrives or fuzzes. It's just a very great combination, and then both of them are very usable by themselves as well.
That's a surprisingly pricey pedal.
Yeah, it's like $200, right?
It's like $400.
That's why I built some clones.
That was Romania, Todd.
Well, no, look at all these other ones down here.
Well, the first one you looked at was
I've never owned
Romania.
$389, $499, $540, $289.
Hey, anybody,
Is that for the
anybody
is that
can
for the
ask whatever
integrated
they
pre?
want.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's for the TC Electronic.
Yeah. I'll just
I've
clip all
never
that
actually
out.
used like a clean boost. Like, what is that even? Isn't a clean if like is it just a boost? Like if you put it before a drive, it's just gonna drive the drive harder, right?
That's the idea. It's just supposed to be clean gain to drive something harder. But the Katana, it really starts getting into light overdrive territory very quickly. But it's mostly like this kind of more low end distortion. It's not very like top endy. So then when you couple that with another gain stage after it, it's kind of that same idea with the fat switch on that JHS 3 Series fuzz, where it's like, boosting your lows before one of the gain stages. So it just totally changes the characteristic of your drive.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
in combination, it's just been my favorite overdrive sound that I've gotten.
But like, do you put your compressor before a clean boost, or is that something that's like, you know what I mean? Like, what's the signal chain for that? Clean boost, then compression, or before?
I think probably compressor first, because I haven't been using one, but I would imagine, it's more kind of tuned to just the adulterated output level of the guitar, because then it's kind of, it would still work. It's just like, usually you don't have a control directly over the threshold on a compressor. So you're going to be driving it past the threshold more if you have the clean boost first.
Gotcha.
But definitely could if you really want to squash it, if you really like that just super compressed sound.
Yeah.
But I think normally you would probably want to do compressor into clean boost.
I gotta try one out. I've never used one before, but I've been struggling with that. I'm like, I need a good clean tone, not thin.
If you're going for just clean tone, that TC Electronic, that's a good one. And if you're looking to get into pedal DIY,
No.
that's not what you said 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
No. Too
Well,
hard.
excellent. That's it was a bunch of surprising things we weren't probably expecting you to say. So that's cool. And we learned about a new one, which I wasn't aware of, the TC Electronic integrated preamp. So there
Come
you
on,
go.
Todd.
I know. Hey,
Get with
that's the whole point of the show, guys. Let's not us forget that. Let's check in with Patrick.
4 pedals. First one that I've been really messing with lately is the Benson preamp pedal. That thing just sounds so good. It's like the perfect Foo Fighters overdriven sound. So I've been really digging that lately, and I can't find or afford really like any. The Chase Bliss preamps one sounds so good, and I think they have the Benson preamp built into that. So it's a little cheaper way to get like that overdriven sound. At least that same kind of nice saturation.
That is
Also
a
been
favorite
messing
one.
around with the. What's up?
That's a big favorite that gets brought up quite a bit. The Benson.
It's so good, man. It's so good. I've also been really liking the Alexander Dynaflange. Just the presets on that thing sound so good and juicy. It's got that really like lush sounding like flanger in there that I've been really digging to get like that Incubus Mike Einzinger kind of tone. And then I started using just recently the Beatronics Swarm. it just sounds so ridiculous, especially with like the harmonies built in. But it's like a visceral, cutting sounding fuzz. Yeah, I've been really digging that one lately.
Did you catch up with him at the NAMM?
Yeah. They're the best, man. I'm kind of wondering what they're gonna release next. They were sort of teasing something really cool on Instagram. I'm just stoked with that. Like a team, like they make the coolest looking pedals, dude.
Yeah,
and their custom pedals look sweet.
Yes, and they sound killer, and all the things.
Yeah,
and honestly, it's like, I like when there's a somebody behind the pedal or the brand where it's like, you walk up and he'll treat you like you are the most important person in the place. Like that's a rare quality in people.
100%.
And they also usually wear beekeeper outfits at trade shows.
Yep.
Yes.
And their commercials are like the best too, dude. Like, they wear the bee mask. I think this show they like came around with like the bee mask giving away like $1 or a mystery box, and the mystery box has like a tuna fuzz in it or something like that.
Yes.
I think they should give honey away.
That would be a good idea. Yeah, they need a honey pedal, something like a smooth pedal instead of like a
honey.
Yes.
If you're listening out there,
yeah,
you can have that idea.
Come on, Philippe. All right, let's hit your next one there.
I think last one I've been messing around with the Simplifier X, the DSM Humboldt pedal. I dig it. I still not giving me like the kind of clean tone I want, because I'm trying to replace having to bring an amp to a gig to just sort of like maybe bringing a lighter amp, like a FR speaker, like a full range speaker, save my back a little bit. And like this has a pretty nice, like a clean sound, but I'm still kind of tweaking it a little bit. It's not replaced like just a Fender Hot Rod for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I still really just love using an amp, but I'm trying to kind of find ways around it that will make it lighter and sound just as good. I just like pushing air, but it's hard to do that through my my studio monitors. It's not the same.
Yeah. Have you tried the Blackstar Amped 1?
No, what is that?
You know what? I'll send it out to you. You can check it out. You can try it out.
Sure.
I think you'd like it because you're basically describing a lot of what that thing actually does.
And it has less dials.
Yeah, way less. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the name Simplifier.
Yeah, it's ironic.
Yeah.
Simplifier has 27 knobs on it.
It's a lot of and like granted, like it's laid out like pretty logically, like they're all in a row, but there are some things about it that but one of the things that they designed like really cool was the foot switches is separated from the actual pedal itself, so you can snake your foot switch anywhere you want on your pedal board and switch channels or turn the reverb on and off, and then like the whole brain of the pedal can live like closer to the output side of your pedal board, so you don't have to like step all the way up there, to grab or switch channels. Yeah,
that's a good idea. Good idea. Interesting. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of different options for what you're actually talking about right now. I mean, I mentioned one, but the sort of board amp is on the rise. It has been for a little while, and there's a lot of really great options for that. Speaking of options, we've got a pedal here, guys, that has a lot of options, and they're all rather terrifying. We are speaking, of course, of the Knife Drop. This is, I mean, how the heck do you even explain this pedal?
You
should just go ahead and start doing it.
Honestly, like the easiest way I explain it to people is like it just makes your guitar sound go boom.
That's
that
fair.
usually
That's fair.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a collaboration. Well, actually, let's be proper about this. The knife drop is nightmarish, gritty, and haunting. It is a sub-octave fuzz analog synth terror, according to the Eventide website, of course. And it is just absolutely loaded with Easter eggs. It's like an Easter egg pedal. If you didn't have any like actual words on this, you could play around with it forever and maybe not ever figure it out. But it has lots and lots of really crazy options on here. So yes, it makes a very big sound, very, very big sound. I was kind of surprised, to be honest, when I was talking with Patrick earlier and he said, "Hey, we're going to send this out," because I mean, it's pretty fair to say like most of the stuff that you guys have done has been like a little bit more complex and usually on the not on the drive side of things so much.
For sure. Yeah. That's fair. Yeah.
So this being, it is kind of, it's weird because I think it'd be very easy to say this is like a one-trick pony kind of pedal, but it has a million tricks for this pony.
I kind of love that.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's a really good way to describe it. I mean, we're not, again, like we're pretty known for the more ambient, like reverbs and delays and hi-fi stuff, but this was a sound that it's a program that was on the H90. There's actually a program there called Knife Drop, and it's just it was over at COVID. We were trying to figure out presets, for the H90, and that's just one of the gnarly sounds that we came up with. It's based off a Billie Eilish song called "You Should See Me in a Crown," and there's like a bass drop in that song, and Knife Drop is sort of inspired by that bass sound, and it just ended up that it also really sounds good for like Jack White styled gnarly scary tones. So when their team kind of heard it, it was a no-brainer to kind of collaborate on that specific tone.
So they heard the one from the H90 and said, "Wait a minute, let's isolate this."
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. So in the scheme of you guys developing this, was it weird like doing like this is a pretty heavy duty collaboration. It's not like you teamed up with somebody and you did it on a little side. I mean, this is like a big production.
No, not at all. Not weird. Dude, Third Man people, they're the best. And Jack is the man. Like, they were super easy to work with, and they knew that like we had this sound. They just kind of had specific ways of how they wanted to tune it. We were open to pretty much whatever, like suggestions they had as far as like, changing up the sounds, but they were also open to us like putting in those little details into it, like being able to move the filter around or making like the sweep a little gnarlier, It was a super easy collab. Like they're the most cool people to work with. And they took care like of the whole like aesthetic design and sort of like the vibe of Knife Drop, and we trusted them fully in that direction.
And they crushed it. They absolutely crushed it.
Yeah. And how big of a surprise was that for you guys? Because did you know what they were doing, or did they say, "Here's the finished thing"?
What do you mean? Like with the design?
As like the theme of it, and all the cinematic story and everything involved in that. We all kind of had like the horror vibes like known. That was got known quantity, right? But like as far as like the pet aesthetic, like man, we didn't see that until it was pretty much done with a few different iterations. But everyone was like, "That is so cool!" And even the box, like the box that the pedal comes in with like this like a kind of story in like the back of it instead of like any information.
like everything about it they designed, and it just looked beautiful. And yeah, it was a surprise.
I was completely taken hook, line, and sinker with it. I started because I love like old movies, and I'm keen to like if there's a movie that I'm like, oh, I need to know about this. I want to know all about it, like the trivia, the whole IMDb thing. So I started chasing down. Now, actually, let's set this up a little. Tony, can you hand me the box?
The box coming your
The
way.
box, yes. So on the back, it starts going into this whole thing about Giovanni Bianco il Terzo, who was, is a only one of two films before crafting his most memorable work. And I was like, what is all this about? And I mean, I read the whole thing, and I'm like, I gotta see this movie. And it's a total like yank, because there's no movie, there's no direct. This is all nonsense.
Yep.
And I was like, I can't believe I just spent all this time trying to like, this must be a really rare movie, because I can't find anything on
Only
this
you,
guy.
Todd. Only you.
Well, I had no premise not to.
Come on.
How would I know? How would I know?
It's a box. It's a pedal.
Well, I'm not sure if you realize this, but Giovanni Bianco il Terzo is a very loose translation of Jack White III.
See, I didn't even get that
You
part.
just blew Todd's mind.
That absolutely
Sounds
did
like
blow my
what?
mind. I didn't know that. Wow, that's
Giovanni, yeah.
Oh, my
that's really
Lord.
funny. Very, very, very clever. Yes, and I was even telling I was telling my daughters about that. They're like, "What's that?" Dad? I'm like, "Oh, this is crazy. You guys look at this. Look at this. Is so cool." Blah blah blah. It's like, and I said, "Read the story on the back." So they started reading the story. Yeah, we were just completely, you could have sold us anything on that day, I guess.
Yeah. We were all surprised by that, and in like the best way possible, because when we saw it, we were like, that's how you create like the coolest thing in the world. Like that's how you create a cool sound, but also tie it to like just the sickest lore and branding and like aesthetic and story. And the pedal itself is designed by Rob Jones, and I think the story in the back is written by Rob Jones too. And Rob has worked with Jack on like White Stripes art, and all that kind of stuff over the years. He's a really pretty dope artist.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think he wrote that whole story in the back.
that's amazing.
I got to say, the overlays are genius.
Yes, tell us about the overlays, guys.
Yeah.
That's truly genius.
Do you mean the preset cards?
Yeah. Having the overlays that someone can just put over top of the pedal and be like, there you go.
Now, when we said that, I'm just imagining Jacob. You're like, yeah, what? And you probably had your hands up, shaking. You're like, what? What the hell? What's an overlay? What is it? Was I right? Kind of a little bit.
Well, I wasn't sure if you meant something with the artwork or something.
Yeah.
I never know. I get tied up in my
No,
my words.
that makes sense though, because I would have probably done the same thing. That's why I laughed, because I'm like, oh yeah, I would have said the same thing. Yes, the overlay cards, preset cards. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
Yes. Tell us.
It's a nice, quick, and easy way to just dial in the preset sounds.
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing that for a couple of the previous .9s. That's what we call that series of single effect pedals.
Mm-hmm.
So on like Ultra Tap, Micro Pitch. Correct me if I'm wrong, Pat, because that's kind of before my time at the company. But we were doing those for those as well.
Yeah, we've been doing that for all of them, and so we kind of saw like the preset cards now as like an opportunity for like even more like freedom on like more designs and more art, like for like Third Man to just here's a bunch more like blank canvases to make really cool like artwork. And so they also took the reins on those designs, and all we did was the knob positions.
No,
Crazy.
That's
Crazy.
great. Yeah. And like I said, and if you get a pedal like this where you're not sure where to start, that's fantastic.
So I do have a question aside to this pedal. I mean, you have the Riptide and the Triceratops and the Ultra Tap and the Micro Pitch, which are all roughly the same ilk. I believe it's the same box, right? The same enclosure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So how has this knife drop affected the awareness or the sales of those other pedals that you guys have? Like, have you seen? Is that a thing?
Yeah. No, definitely. I don't know sales wise if it like affected too much of like the other pedals. I just don't know. I mean, I believe maybe it did, but brand awareness for sure. Like people who didn't know about Eventide like know it now, and we saw like a surge in just people buying more H90s or buying more or following us online. So that was pretty rad.
Yeah.
Just that if Jack is really into this, if Third Man's into this, it really helps like get more eyes on Eventide like that.
For sure. I could
yeah,
only
we've
imagine.
been around for like, yeah, we've been around for 50 years, but like, it's funny, like when people think of Eventide, like they either think of like the H3000 stuff, like the rack mount units, plugins, or the H9. And it's just dope to have like this pedal with like so much personality, because a lot of people I feel like look at us from the outside as like a really high end, like hi-fi company, which to some extent, like definitely, like the prices are high, and the quality is also really high. But we also like to make quirky sounding pedals with like lots of like just attitude and personality. Like you said, like it's not like we're known for making distortion pedals, but this sounds good.
Yeah.
And yeah. So,
well,
yeah,
you're talking about the products that you guys are doing. And I mean, one thing that I think, the first thing I think of when you say Eventide is I'm like, okay, this is going to sound really, really, really good. Really good. We got to play around with the H90 when that came out. And our minds were blown. That's an incredible pedal. It's even weird to call it a pedal because it's like it's a machine. It seems like more than a pedal. We haven't. I don't. Rob, have you tried any of the other?
No, it's funny. I've been wanting to buy an Ultra Tap forever, and I just haven't gotten around to it yet. The specs on that look fantastic.
Yeah.
That one is like a brain twister for sure. I can send you one of those for sure.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah.
So I did have something occurred to me. It's like I know this is it's like a super fuzzed out, synthy, octavey kind of thing, but the synth part right now kind of stood out to me. And it's not like there's a synth particular where you can just isolate that thing. It's like the synth is dripping all over that, and you do get to control it. But especially out at NAMM, and then since then, in the Maris was just released. The Maris Enzo was re-released, right?
Yeah, it looks so rad.
Oh my gosh, right? And the EHX Pog 3, the Keeley Synth 1. And of course, the knife drop comes out, and I was like, there's this weird resurgence. Maybe it's not a resurgence, it's just a surge. It's a surge of this interest in synth tones for guitars. There seems to be a large number of those things being made right now. And I was just wondering if you guys had any insight into that.
Yeah. I think there's just a lot of pedals. So I think that's a part of it. Like everyone is just making a bunch of different pedals all the time. So there's obviously going to be a lot of overlap, but I think also people are just kind of sick of like overdrives and this reverbs and stuff like that. And I don't know, like to me, like I really like sound, even though I collect like fucking distortion pedals and overdrives, like I really love like weird sounds that I can't get with those like more traditional pedals. And then, kind of pairing it together, you can get some even gnarlier sounds. But yeah, I think it's just something different, that's a little bit more inspiring.
Yeah.
At least for now.
And from the nerd side of things too, it's like, just on account of like the tech getting better over the years, because like if you're going to do these synth pedals, it's like, necessarily a digital thing, even if you're trying to emulate an analog synth.
Mm-hmm.
And that just gets, expensive in terms of CPU power. So, with chips getting cheaper and more powerful, it's, you can just do more intense stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
When we put out Polyphony on the H90, it's, probably like, I don't know, even 5 years ago, a polyphonic synth of that quality was just not really possible at an affordable price point.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just, tech getting better. You can do crazier stuff.
I think as a single guitar player in our band,
I thought you were married.
I was waiting for that. That was just too easy. Too easy. So it just it made me think, is like, a lot of times, especially if you are the sole guitar player in there, you're carrying an awful lot of
Weight.
sound and weight and everything. So a way to expand on that without getting another guitar player is often, hey, bring in a keyboard or something like that, right? But that can get messy, and that can get, now I got to have another person who asks, not going to make practice and blah, blah, all that stuff. But this is kind of a way to, a really good way, whether it's the knife drop or something else here, to give you a lot more than just your guitar signal, whether that's all the time or just some of the time. That, to your point that you just brought up, like, the technology now just makes it sound so much better than I think previous iterations in the past.
Yeah, for sure. Even they're all a little different, right? Like, I think there's the EHX one, they make like a whole line of like different synth styles and organ sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Those are so much purposeful built, and it's, if you want to play like really cool synth lines from old songs, those are perfect. And then there's things like the Maris stuff that's just like, maybe you won't use it to play Jump, but like, it's so inspiring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just an inspiring sound that makes you want to play it more.
Or maybe
it's like,
you
I
will.
like, maybe you will play a Jump with it. I don't know. Who knows? But I like pedals that, it's like a video games. I want to feel like I'm playing a different game when I play a different pedal.
Yeah, I can understand that. It's funny. Recently, I think it was earlier last year. It was I think it was maybe. Anyways, it was about a year ago.
Yeah.
I stumbled on a band called Actors. I don't know if you guys have heard of them, but the specific album was called "It Will Come to You," and I was just kind of like taken by I really dug the cover, and I was like, "What's this?" And then I listened to it, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Now that was put out in 2018. I'd never heard it, and it just like made me just like wake up. I was like, "Whoa, this is awesome!" I actually played it for Tony on our way to go see the Gods.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was like, "Dude, you got to hear this." And I think one of the attractive things about that was they were playing some conventional instruments, but they weren't using them conventionally. They definitely were leaning into that, not full-blown synth, like, hey, this is what the organ sounds like. But, it was kind of dipped in that. And I really, it made me like really think about it and listen and go, geez, that's rad. I would like to do something like that. If you guys haven't heard that, by the way, I highly recommend everybody checking that out. Actors, it's called "It Will Come to You," and I just absolutely fell in love with that album. Anyways, so yeah, well, that's cool. I just noticed that there was like, wow, this is a kind of a trend. A whole bunch of this stuff just came out, and it was all synthy bits.
I gotta get my hands on that Maris pedal that just came out, dude. I've been looking at it all day. It sounds so good.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys could work something out with them. I'm sure. Now with this pedal, the knife drop, what is your either favorite thing or thing that you were most surprised by?
As far as like the sound of it,
Whatever. The sound of it, the whole package, you know what?
The story that Todd fell for.
Yeah. Let's go with the sound of it and the pedal and all that stuff. Let's stick with that.
sure. Jacob, you wanna?
I think for me, it was kind of just the most surprising thing was how many different sounds we were able to get out of it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, initially it was, it was kind of a project to start with, because it was like, they wanted to really cut down the knob size and only have 3 knobs with the dual layer parameters, one of which was just an output volume. So there's really only 5 knobs to work with, and I think if you're running the H90 version, you have something like over 20, probably 22 or 23 to work with. So when they first ran it by us, I there was a little bit of fear that it was going to be, I guess kind of boxed in, that it was going to be absolutely just a one-trick pony. Mm-hmm. But just by, adding little features in, like just being able to, swap the location of the filter, or turn the drive all the way down so that it's just synth tones, or turn the synth off so it's just drive tones, or turn both off so that it's just a filter, breaking out all these blocks into, all the individual sections, really just kind of helped open up like all these different tonal possibilities with it. So it went from being something that, I was worried about potentially being boxed into, being kind of surprisingly versatile for what it is.
Mm-hmm. And how about you, Patrick?
I think there's like one sound out of it that I keep going back to, and it's I've always loved that like octave fuzz, sub-octave fuzz sound. It's just very Royal Blood E kind of combination of like the low end with like a piercing high end. But I don't know if this was on purpose, Jacob, but like there was a sound that we ended up getting where if you hold on to the note, like the filter just starts to close, and it kind of goes like as you like sustain your note. To me, that's so rad. Like it makes it pretty just interesting, like that you can get that kind of noise without having an expression pedal plugged in or anything like that.
I think that was more of a happy accident.
Yeah, for sure.
Lots of gain and a moving filter.
Yep.
What was the hardest thing to? I know you kind of touched on a few of those, but was there one thing that just had you absolutely stumped? I'm like, how the crap am I going to do this?
To be honest, it was just getting it to run. It took a while to actually get it to, not take up so many resources on this framework that it was just crashing immediately. So there was, a lot of chopping out stuff that was unused, trying to like do some DSP tricks to, keep the same sound while doing it in a more efficient way. And it was just like kind of, whittling things down until, finding everything that was not necessary and getting rid of it, seeing if that would run. And then when it wouldn't, just making further optimizations. And because, it's, designed for the H90 originally, and that thing, has a lot more horsepower.
Sure.
So, it's H90 is barely sweating trying to run this, but, it took a while to actually get it running efficiently and still, not making any like tonal sacrifices.
Yeah. It also, I think one of the philosophies we really wanted to stick with it was that it needs to always move air, and be pushing air with your amp when you play through. So keeping a good volume without being too much was important. So like I think when we went to go to Nashville to meet up with the Jack and the team, like every preset was like, I think he wanted like plus 9 dB or plus 12 dB each.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he wanted that output knob just cranked.
Yeah, so it was all the way up for his presets because we were just trying to like really push air with it, get the volume as high as possible. But we, compromising between that and something reasonable so that when people plug it in, it doesn't blow up their amps. It wasn't hard, but it was something we always had to kind of keep in mind. Like, this thing is designed for this rock star that just wants to push air as much as possible. That's like the base of his tone.
Yeah. Now, based on the success of this thing, have you guys considered, like, hey, there's a whole box full of these things in the H90. Is that something that you guys are going to maybe pull out and isolate a few more of those things?
I mean, I think there's just like our sounds cross-pollinate between all our products so much because we're running our own ecosystem of like how we build our sounds. Like, it's Eventide technology that we're using to build it, using VSig. So like, no matter what, like, it's always going to cross-pollinate between like, oh, this sound from the H90 somehow made it into a plugin without us even sort of like deciding it was going to be that way. It just sort of cross-pollinated. But as far as like designing more of these presets as like individual products, like that's definitely a good question. Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, to where to the idea.
Yeah.
But I can't say if there's any plans in the pipeline for that at the moment.
That means there is. That's not a denial. That means there is.
I can neither confirm
I
nor
can neither confirm nor deny. Oh. Patrick's like, oh God, why did I say that?
Okay, then maybe I should say that I can deny.
I can deny.
Oh, well, there we go.
Okay. All right. Well, guys, we really appreciate you walking us through the knife drop. What a exciting experience that must have been for you, and all the attention and everything coming your way is obviously well deserved. And by the way, you did some great stuff before this one, so everybody knows that.
They've had a few hits.
Yeah, we've done a few things.
You might have heard of us before this.
Congratulations on your first pedal.
Eventide may have a future after all.
Oh, and it's fuzz based. Go, shocker!
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's super killer. Now, you have right now they're all up for grabs. So everybody, if you're interested in this, go out and get one and play around with it and have some fun.
Now, are there different versions of this? Because this one, the one that we've got here is yellow, and the one online looks to be black and yellow.
Yeah, so the yellow one is the limited edition. Only like 300 of it was printed.
Ah, okay.
Wow, interesting. Well, guys, I think we need to make our way over around third and start heading home. Tony?
Yes?
What's the time for?
Would you rather?
Wow, that was amazing. You sound just like Jared, all tuned up.
Helium.
Yes. Yes. I won't ask you to try that again.
Okay.
So let's go.
Well, Todd,
Yes.
as you know, Would You Rather is a little game we like to play every week, and it involves a choice.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember the last time we got together, you'd mentioned what a great fan of scene transition music you are in TV shows.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about.
I do know.
In between the scenes.
In between the scenes.
The music, little snippets.
Yes.
Well, you've been contacted by a producer.
Okay.
And they're doing a reboot of the Partridge Family.
Okay.
It's called Reuben's Kids. If you know,
Wow.
you know.
You're doing a deep cut. You lost a lot of people already.
It's no fun if I have to explain it.
Well, you might have to because that was a long time ago.
So
Tony.
way back
That's like
in the
50 years ago,
way back
Tony.
in the 1970s, there was this TV show called The Partridge Family.
Yes.
And it was a story about a mom and her family of musicians.
Yes.
And they went around
And
and
a
played
bus.
gigs and stuff. They had the cool bus.
Yes.
And their manager's name was Reuben.
Yes.
Reuben Kincaid.
Yes. Reuben Kincaid.
Thus the name Reuben's Kids.
Yes. Okay.
And that could have several levels of entendre.
Okay.
So the producer says to you, hey,
Yeah. Yeah.
in this transition music, I need a lot of tremolo. I need a lot of it.
Okay.
Tons of tremolo.
Tons of tremolo.
We're in the tremolo.
Got it.
Not cowbell, tremolo.
Tremolo.
Well, it turns out you don't have a guitar that has a tremolo on it. Well, that doesn't happen with me, but
Yes.
let's just say for the sake of this.
Sure.
The producer says, no problem. We've got a couple laying around here at the studio. Just come on in. Mm-hmm. Give it a try on this tremolo. Mm-hmm. The whammy. Whammy.
Yes.
You know how that works. Well, you get there and you show up.
Uh-huh.
And it turns out there's only two guitars in the studio.
Okay.
One of them is an SG with their famous sideways maestro vibrato.
Oh boy.
The other is a Telecaster with a Bigsby.
Kaler. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that would have been better. The point is, both of these tremolos have some shortcomings.
Mm-hmm.
And they also have people that are just really fond of them.
Yes.
So, would you rather play this scene transition music on the SG with the Gibson sideways vibrato,
Okay.
also known as the vibrola, if you're
If you're hip to that.
if you're hip to that sort of thing, or the Telly with the Bigsby?
Okay. All right. Well, let's go with you. Can lead this off and tell us what island you're on.
Okay. Well, as I said earlier, there are some shortcomings, shall we say, of both of these tremolo systems.
Yes.
I, for one, have never really been good at doing the sideways vibrato on an SG. It just doesn't make any sense to
I feel
me.
like you have to be a finger picker for that to.
It might be so. On the other hand, I've had many guitars that have Bigsby's on them, and I kind of like that. But you really, they're just strictly a downward kind of thing. You can't pull up on it. Either one of these, you can't pull up on it.
No.
Otherwise, you start popping strings and they go out of tune. And
Pop it like it's hot.
yeah, just like
Yeah.
it. So, for me, I'm going to go with the Telly with the Bigsby
Okay.
because I think I can get more out of it. I may
Okay.
not be able to do all those, dive bombs and all the pull-ups and things like that, but I know how to
I
make.
for sure know you can't do any pull-ups.
What are you saying, Todd? What are you saying?
Tony alone.
You are a bully, Todd. I'm just realizing that now.
Okay.
That's what I'm going with.
Gotcha. All
Telly
right.
with Bigsby.
Let's go to Patrick.
Bigsby
Okay.
for sure. Yeah, I think I've just never tried the Maestro vibrola stuff, and it kind of scares. I'm just like looking at it now. It kind of scares me, and I just know that even though like I don't love like Bigsby, I just I don't know how to put it in the case.
You flip the
I'm
arm
gonna
around.
go with.
That's what you do. You flip the arm around.
It's hard, yeah, but it still scares me. It does, but just for the pure fact of like it looking super rad on guitars too. Like
It
a Telly
does,
with a
it
Bigsby
does.
sounds
Yeah.
really dope.
yeah.
And I've played a few Bigsbys and they're kind of sensitive, like to just the slightest vibrato. So I want to kind of like just tap if the director really wants a ton of vibrato, I can really easily kind of vibrate my hand on top of that bar and get like a really springy sound.
Yeah.
There you go.
Fair enough. Let's see. How about Jacob?
I'm going to be totally honest here. I'm mostly a drummer.
Which one would sound better if you hit it with a stick?
Yes.
That's a good idea.
I like the name Bigsby. So am I totally, completely blind, uneducated guess? I'm going to say Bigsby.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough. Rob?
That's great. The telly with the Bigsby.
Wow. Okay, so it's unanimous. That's definitely...
Have you given your answer yet?
I'm definitely not playing an SG. I don't. Me and SGs. No.
Why?
Nope. That's a nope. That's a hard no.
What about it?
Why?
Everything about it. I don't like how thin it is. I don't like how big the neck is. It's a dive.
Big
the
the
neck
neck
dive.
is.
See, most of them are like,
No.
well,
No.
the ones I played have been
Very, very few are boats. Most
Well,
of them
those are the ones
really
that I've
slim.
gotten a hold of.
All right.
Actually, I take that back because John had me try to record
With his.
a part with one of his, and he was a 61. Was it
Yeah, it's
61.
It's a less polished.
Super, super thin, but it just didn't. Nope. Don't like the SG. Sorry.
Don't like dogs. Don't like SGs.
Yeah.
Got
And then
it.
you might throw Dave Grohl
If he,
on it,
if he was
too.
a chick,
I don't
he'd
like
get
strats.
nothing.
Yeah, and don't like Dave
Yes.
Grohl.
I like David Grohl.
It's not that I don't like Dave Grohl.
I just don't want to hear his music.
Neck
I
is
don't
too
know where
thick.
that came from. That's made up.
That's terrible. Dave, if you're out there listening, Dave,
He's gonna come bang
I'm
on our
sorry.
door and kick me in the.
I am sorry.
He's got bigger problems.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
worry about it.
probably that's true. Anyways, all right, Tony, that was an adequate one. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Do
your
it
vote
yourself,
of confidence.
dude. Jeez. It's like Tony do this and then craps all over it.
You
He
know,
was crapping. I gave him thanks.
it was
No,
adequate.
that was adequate.
It was perfectly okay.
A dog could have
Yeah.
done better, but you know.
Anyhow, we need to thank a few people, Tony.
Yes, we do, Todd, because at this point of the show is a special group of people we love to thank. These are our executive producers. Now, an executive producer helps make this show possible. How do you become one? Very easy. Head over to you can go to pickguardian.com too if you want, but let's start with patreon.com/the Guitar Knobs and check out a couple different levels at which you can participate, become a sponsor, a friend, a hero of the podcast.
Excellent.
Each level comes with some very nice thank you gifts and opportunities to win great stuff through our exclusive.
Yeah, we just gave away the Spindrift Alpha Wolf.
Oh.
Yes. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But in addition to all that great stuff, I am told there is one thing more. What would that be?
You get to have your name right on the thing.
That's what I'm going to do now. So I'm
I
going
gotta
to
make a button for that.
Yeah, we need that one.
I'll get it.
You can do it.
Can you make sure it's regular speed?
No,
The whole high speed witchcraft thing is.
It's yeah.
Follow
Okay.
the other big road.
Anyway.
So special thanks to these executive producers: Anthony Lathrop, Brett Hogarth, Cameron Pampas, Darren Gregory, Don Kloss, Elad Mizrahi, James Bell, James White, John Esterly from Rare Buzzer Effects, John Sebastian, John Halverson, Justin Jones, Ken Sayers, Michael Senchuk, Mike Davenport, Owen Eads, Plutone, Ralph Gottschalk from Wonderful Audio Technology. What? Richard Kendall, Rick Calhoun, Rusty Sneeden, Stefan Lamb, Tom Barazin, Trevor Ellenberg, Trevor Gunberg, and Vaderin Petals.
Woo, doggies.
But you know, Todd, there's a special group of executive producers.
Yes.
These are the creme de la creme, the top of the heap.
Yes.
The A number ones.
All gathered together in a penthouse suite with waterbeds full of orange Gatorade.
That is correct.
Great.
I'm glad you remembered that fine detail. There's also a orange Gatorade water slide.
Yes.
So it's nice.
That's gross.
Real nice, Clark. Yeah. So special thanks to these grand poobahs: Anthony Gemalero, Billy Spitfire Unlimited, Bob Crouch, Brian Robison, Cody Foster, David Kaminga, David Tyndall, Enrico Fernando. I do that. I'm having trouble with that name.
It's the Eagle Rare.
Yeah,
Tony.
maybe that's an Eagle Rare. Fox Hill Studio, Gregory Randall, Hex Matos, John Williams, Martin Cliff, Matt Hart, Michael Van Zant, Michio Murakishi, Mike Nazionale, Moon Guitars, Pedro Vasquez, Sam Jett, Steve Keys, James Pennington, Zach Oswald from Brandon Wow Pickups, and Jonathan Labate.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, everyone, for choosing to support the show that we do here. It means the world to us, and it is so greatly appreciated. If you've been on the fence, get off the fence and jump in the yard.
It's the right thing to do.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to say a colossal thank you to Patrick and Jacob of Eventide for hanging out with us, wasting their time, but making our time better.
Thank you guys for having us.
Yeah,
man,
thanks
for
so
real.
much.
Yeah, you bet. It was a super fun talking with you, and Jacob, it was great to meet you. I didn't say this, but I have so much respect and borderline admiration for the skills you possess to do the things you do with these technologies. Awesome.
Oh, thank you very much.
Where would you like to send people to check out the things that you guys do?
Go to eventideaudio.com or, just hit us up on Instagram or Facebook, any social really, at Eventide Audio.
Awesome. Tony?
Go over to pickguardian.com. Check out the stuff that I do. What do? I make custom pickguards for guitars. How do you get one? Shoot me an email. Mm-hmm. Let me know what you're trying to do, what you need, and I'll take very good care of you.
Yes.
It's your opportunity to make your guitar even more yours.
That's close. We'll take it. Okay. Go ahead, Rob.
Madcoification, Facebook, Instagram, OF, wherever you want to go.
What?
I'm trying to make some extra money.
Oh, my goodness.
Don't get too excited.
I'm not.
It's just
I'm
pictures
scared.
of amps.
Yes.
Yes. Is that what the kids are calling it?
Pictures of. Oh, boy. Let's get out of here real quick. Hey, you guys can shoot me an email at todd@theguitarknobs.com. You can also DM me on Instagram. That tends to work a little bit better. We would love to hear from you. Please share what's going on in your guitar world and why, what you love or hate about the show. Throw rocks at me or, give
Only
Tony
Todd.
some love or whatever.
Do we ever get that website, Throw Rocks at Todd?
No, you didn't, and it's not worth getting. All right. Go get one of these knife drops, and while you're at it, pick up some of the other incredible things that Eventide does for your guitar awesomeness. Gentlemen, thank you. Everyone else, have a fantastic Guitar
Thank
Week.
you.
Subscribe! Yeah. Okay, Jacob gets a medium, and Patrick gets a XX? What?
XL.
Again, Todd's making them fat.
Oh, my
I'm
God.
just
Todd.
playing.
XXL.
Jeez.
Okay.
Making friends everywhere you go.
Okay, guys. Who's going to go first? Oh, they left.
They're both like,
I don't know if you were asking me or guys, and there.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I guess I didn't make that clear.
look under filters. Sold.
Oh, God. What?
Todd's obsessed with what things
New and
cost as
used.
well. Go down, go down, go down, go down, go down,
Okay,
go down.
all right.
Buying options. No, buying options, I think.
This has been pretty cool so far, Rob. Tony's posh.
So here's to Tony. God bless us, everyone.
That's not the one I was thinking.
Only the best. Wait, where are you guys at again?
We're in
Columbus, Ohio.
We had a low today of 2. Which,
Oh, okay. So you guys got it a little worse than us.
Yeah, that sucks.
yeah. I kind of get a kick out of when it's super duper cold. Now, the problem is we woke up this morning and I was like, holy Moses, what's going on? Our furnace broke.
Anyhow, what Todd was getting at is, do you have a preference of Eventide or Eventide? Because we've heard it both ways.
Well, that's going to be expensive, huh?
Yes, it is. I could have bought a car, but I didn't. I bought a furnace.
Not a very nice car, though. Let's be honest.
Oh, I could have hooked you up.
There's like a million different pronunciations depending on where you are. It's we get Eventide a lot.
Really?
And Eventide.
Yeah, I've heard Eventide a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's funny about
Sounds like a
the
toothpaste. Yes.
I like soda pop.
He hasn't even opened it.
Don't look at me that way.
You're wired tonight, man.
Don't look at me that way.
Did you get a little something?
But we're not here to talk about that, are
Let's
we?
talk about
I
furnaces.
don't think we should.
Come on. Who cares about Eventide?
furnaces.
We want to talk furnaces.
Oh, hey, by the way,
Oh, I love furnaces.
well, in that case, I got a 2-stage B chassis at 80,000 BTUs.
Nice.
Yes,
You
and it was
seriously
only
know this
80,000
$80,000.
BTUs, man.
Has anyone ever pronounced it Eventide?
Yeah, that's what he was
Yes.
saying.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
Eventide.
Like a
Eventide.
toothpaste. I mean, even made the commentary. Where have you been?
I just got here.
I'm telling you, man. I don't know who this guy is, but it's cracked out Tony
You
night.
got a bad knee. Your wife's got a bad back. What the?
Everything's bad. Everything's bad.
Geriatric free for all.
It's all bad. Have you
I
watched
swear there was supposed
The
to be a
Man
podcast
Inside
on it.
The Man Inside. Wait, yes, I have seen
with
that.
Ted Danson?
Yes,
That's like an Apple TV.
No, it was on Netflix. It
was a
is
long time
it's
ago.
No, it just came out.
it just came out. I haven't seen it.
And the new season's coming out soon.
Can't wait to miss that.
It's excellent.
Oh. And away we go.
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.